I want to be going over some Taurus traits and quirks I have noticed on my own. I picked Cher for the celebrity model. She was born on May 20th, which is actually my birthday too. I picked Cher because she has dark hair. A lot of Taurus people are known for having either darker skin, darker hair. They usually have a lower voice and a low singing voice. And some other celebrities that were Tauruses, or that are Tauruses. Oh, yeah, I just thought of one I didn't have on my list here. Dorothy on Golden Girls, B. Arthur, she's a Taurus. Adele, Kelly Clarkson, George Clooney, Janet Jackson, Megan Fox, Willie Nelson, and also Hitler and Queen Elizabeth were both Tauruses. Okay, so Tauruses get along really good with other earth signs and water signs. Now, something I have noticed is Tauruses get along very well, both in a friendly way and a romantic way with Virgos, which is a fellow earth sign. Now, me being a Taurus, I met the love of my life about 20 years ago, and he was a Virgo, and I knew him about 9 years before he died. And we got along so famously. And also, my best friend from high school was a Virgo as well. Now, some famous Virgo Taurus couples or friends, I'll mention some of those here in a minute, but I wrote a book called Why a Taurus Should Be with a Virgo. It's on Amazon for Kindle if you're interested in reading that. Tim McGraw is a Taurus. Faith Hill, his wife, is a Virgo. David Charvet is this actor that was on Baywatch. He is a Taurus, and his wife, Brooke Burke, is a Virgo. So those are married couples. Now, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, they got along really well. I think there was like 8 brothers and sisters. Anyway, Janet Jackson is a Taurus. Michael is a Virgo, and they got along really well. They were like best friends. Who else? Oh yeah, Jack and Janet on Three's Company. If you've never seen that show, oh, you gotta check it out. It's so funny. It's an older show. Three's Company. So Jack was played by John Ritter, who's a Virgo, and Janet was played by Joyce DeWitt, which is a Taurus. And in real life, they were actually really close friends. They got along really well. Now, with me in high school, my best friend was a Virgo, Taurus Virgo. And then there was this other set of friends, let's say a set of friends. Okay, so one of my old friends that was also a Taurus. I've noticed also Taurus people get along really well with not only Virgos, but other Taurus people as well. Usually, Taurus people make really good friends, but not necessarily lovers. They make really good friends with other Taurus people. So this is really weird. In school, it was me and my Virgo friend and I all through junior high and high school. In high school, when we were juniors, we had the same class and sat by 2 other girlfriends that were a Taurus Virgo combo. Okay. And we all became friends that year. It was their senior year, our junior year. And we all became friends. And years later, I realized, that's weird. They were best friends in school, and she and I were best friends in school. We were both Taurus Virgo. But we all became friends. And later on, my Virgo friend and I kind of grew apart. She had gotten bad situations on drugs, so we grew apart. But me and the Taurus, the other friend of the 4 of us, we kind of stayed friends after high school. And we got along so good. And she was so funny, so entertaining. I have another best friend, a male. His name's Rick. Anyway, he is so hilarious. He's real witty. And our a crazy sense of humor just click really well. Taurus people are usually pretty funny and they like humor, and Virgos like humor and comedy. So I think that's one reason I think Virgos and Tauruses, their sense of humor really connects. Okay, so let's see. What's some other traits? I have a bunch of notes here, so I'm just going to read them off here. Taurus people can laugh at themselves, good things and bad things. If something bad happens to them, they find the sense of humor in it. They can laugh at themselves. And they like people picking on them. They don't mind if people pick on them. So they enjoy humor and laughing. They like to hear other people laugh. They're kind of all around artists, and that's something well known about Taurus people too, is they're usually in the arts. They either draw, act, sing, sometimes multiple talent. They're quiet when they're mad. Some Tauruses tend to be a little bit reserved, but some of them, once they get used to being around you, once they warm up to you, they can be very talkative or really outgoing, really funny. They're mainly like more shy in social settings or in public. And when a Taurus is mad, which isn't very often, they really have to be push and push. Their buttons have to be push and push and push over and over again for them to really get mad. But when let's say you say something slightly off the wall or kind of cross to them, or anyway, when a Taurus is mad and when they shut down on you and get super quiet, that's when you know they are mad. They shut down and they just don't speak. And you know what? You would never know that a Taurus can't stand you or might be mad at you. They act nice and try to keep the peace. They try so hard to keep the peace. They don't say anything. They continue to let you get on their nerves until they blow up one day. It might all come out one day. For example, that guy Chris Watts, I don't know if you ever heard of him. A few years ago, this couple that had two kids that lived in Colorado, Chris Watts killed his wife and two kids, and he was a Taurus. There was no indication that that was going to happen. It's like if you go on there and see that Shannon or whatever her name was, his wife, all the videos she had leading up to that time. I think she did some kind of, I don't know what she did, but she has a lot of videos floating around out there that I don't know if she was doing shorts or YouTube or what she was doing, but he was in some, and you would never know. He was so calm and collected, and I have found that in not only myself but other Taurus people out there. They will stay so calm, and there's no indication that they could be mad at you. And then one day they either dump you or blow up at you or something. Some weird little quirk that I've taken notice of is they shake their head a lot. They shake their head like if you're telling a story and they're in disbelief, instead of like saying something, they'll just sit there and shake their head back and forth like, oh geez. You know what I mean? Like shake their head back and forth in a no motion. And they'll just sit there and shake their head. I've noticed that. And they repeat words like if you say something kind of quirky or something funny or a word they hardly ever hear or something that just kind of struck them funny, they'll just keep saying that word or that phrase over and over, like laughing about it. They'll say it and laugh over and over. Okay, so Taurus people seem to go through a lot of rough spots in their life. Some Taurus people just have it so rough and like either bounce around with jobs or places of living, or they just never feel settled, which is crazy because a Taurus really likes to feel secure, settled in one place, and like life is going good. You know, they can't stress too much. Taurus people stress easily. They can't have too much going on in life. Yeah, and they just seem to go through a lot of bad things, and sometimes their whole life. Like life may never feel settled for them, or just tend to have a lot of bad luck. So my buddy Rick, we became friends about 9 years ago, 9, 10 years ago. And I remember sometime back then we were talking about Taurus people, and um, one night he had a dream that a woman came up to him and said, "You're never going to be completely happy in life because you're a Taurus. Taurus people are destined to be unhappy." And when he told me about that dream, I was like, whoa, I think there might be something to this because with myself, other Taurus people I know, and of course this doesn't go for every single Taurus out there, but it seems like there's a pretty large majority of Taurus people that just have it rough and maybe their whole life or up till one point. It's like they can never just find. And one thing about Taurus people is they may have all these multiple talents and all kinds of talents and stuff they could do, but it never goes anywhere. Like they could never really turn it into a business. Like they're known for their patience, but they are put in life situations where their patience just is tested and they run out of patience. Like Taurus people can have patience for standing in a line a little extra longer, or waiting for a phone call that they know is going to come in 15 minutes and stuff like that, but it seems like they're put in situations where, like I said, life is rough for them. They have to have a lot of patience. The women, the girls, Tauruses are usually, It's like they're part girly, part tomboy. And Taurus people like unusual smells that you would never think that someone would like the smell of. Something I've noticed about Taurus people, they're always doing laundry. I know it's such a weird thing to take notice of. There's always laundry, and they're always cleaning. They like to stay really clean. They don't like their hands dirty, but yeah, you might call up a Taurus and be like, "What are you doing?" "I'm doing laundry," or "cleaning the kitchen," or "doing this or that." They kind of like to stay busy. They don't work real fast. They work slow and steady. But yeah, if a house is a disaster and they need to clean up the house, first thing they do is grab a whole pile of clothes and stuff them in the washer. And do you remember Danny Tanner, the character on Full House? It was played by Bob Saget, which actually he died a few years ago. He's another famous Taurus. And I think that in real life, I think he was probably a super clean freak. And I think they incorporated that into his character on the show because he was like super clean. I remember this one episode where he was vacuuming off his vacuum or something like that. Let's see. Just looking at my notes here. Oh, yeah. Tauruses appear to be very serious, but they're really goofy, really funny. They can't handle too many things going on at once. They can't handle too much noise, too much music. They require a lot of quiet time. And they're natural teachers. Sometimes whenever a Taurus is just trying to educate you, it almost seems like they're lecturing. They might find themselves kind of lecturing, but they are natural teachers. So I think I went over all my notes here of stuff I wrote down about Taurus. Let me know anything else you've ever noticed about a Taurus person and leave it in the comments. I'll see you on one of these next videos here.